That's going to be the most important dynamic when it comes to your experience and what you convey to other people. So at the end of the day, what we do is about a transference of energy. We're literally transferring energy. This is why when you go through the training videos, you'll hear me talk about the importance of picking up the phone so that people can hear your voice. They can feel your energy from the voice. When I'm communicating in social media, on DMs and Facebook, I will send a written message and I'll send a voice note so they can hear and feel my energy with the written text because it's very important. We live in a time where so much and it works in our favor in a lot of ways, but it also gives us an unfair advantage. Okay. And here's what I mean. So if you look at the dynamics of what's taken place since 2020, and here we are, 2024, just kicking off. The excuse me, the entire globe, but all of the United States, people have been conditioned for the virtual experience. They've been conditioned to do so much more interaction, whether if it's their job, kids had to stay home and get educated from the screen. People have been programmed to really engage life overall from a screen virtually. And think about the dynamics of DoorDash, people ordering food, Amazon, people buy everything they want, and then they get shipped the next day or the day after that. Clothing, shopping. There's nothing that you cannot do virtually. So our customer base, the prospects that we're talking to, they're primed and ready for the experience that we have to offer them in this virtual healthcare dynamic. So that's number one. Number two, the thing that people have lost is the ability to have a connection, to feel a part of something, to be a part of a community. People are yearning for that personal touch. And I want you all to understand each of you brings something unique to the table because of who you are, where you come from, what you've overcome. You all have stories. You all have parts of your journey that people can learn and be inspired by. And ConnectMD it's a vehicle, it's a conduit of connection. Like literally, it's in the name. It enables us to connect with other people in very meaningful ways. Yes, we're able to save people a lot of money. They can have tremendous savings just by leveraging the virtual component before they make that ill-fated decision to drive to the emergency or the urgent care and spend more money than they need to. Yes, we can certainly help them with the monthly. So, quick tip, we just did a fantastic interview with a gentleman by the name of Carlo Benedetti, and has been in pharmaceutical and he owned a pharmacy, but he was in that space for 30 years. And he was literally breaking down to me the number of times in his career where somebody would buy a prescription and they got to come back each month to renew it, and he would notice they wouldn't come back until the third month, and then he would say, well, why did you miss last month? Well, I can't afford it. Like I couldn't do it. So yes, we're able to take somebody's prescription, lower it so that they can afford it and have it every month. Alex gave us a great example last week when she told us my script was $48. As soon as I got my platinum membership, it's now $5 a month. She's one of those people because the number he gave me was a $50 figure specifically. So there's absolutely no denying the impact we have on a very pragmatic, practical level when it comes to people's virtual healthcare and then their healthcare experience overall. But what's more important than that is what we create from a relationship standpoint. Some of you have had the opportunity to speak to on the phone, and we've gotten into some really good conversation. And that's really, really important to me because I want to know what's important to you. I want to know what it is that you came here for. What's your target? What's your goal? I need you all to understand that it's important for you to pick up the phone. And there's never a wrong time to pick up the phone. Joyce was calling me right before we got on the call because she's constantly engaging in how to serve the team that she's building. She wants to be the best version of herself that she can be. She wants to be a servant leader. So she knows that she can call me as many times as she wants. Like, you're not bothering me. If I'm on another call, I'm going to call you back. If I'm in the middle of a Zoom or a meeting, I'm going to get back to you as soon as I get done. But she understands that this is a two-way street, and I'm not a mind reader. And you all have to communicate the same dynamic with the people that you're enrolling in the teams that you're building as we're doing this, that it's important for people to feel free to pick up the phone, because that's not how people are programmed. They're not, they're not accustomed to that. Hey, Latanya, make sure you're muted. Thanks, love. They're not accustomed to that. People are accustomed to keeping things inside. People are accustomed to pretending that they're doing better than what they are. They're accustomed to pretending that they know things that they don't. They're accustomed to trying to impress other people who don't even like them anyway. Like, the things that people are accustomed to, it's the exact opposite here. So we have to communicate that with each other on an ongoing basis until it becomes second nature for all of us to understand, hey, I can pick up the phone and just, if I have a question, if I'm not sure about something, if I need to rehearse a little bit, I know I learned some of the languaging and the training modules that we've set up for you all, but sometimes it just goes. You think you got it, and then it goes, and it's okay. So I want to give you a couple of things that will help you as we're all doing this beginning together. Now, some of you will make phone calls, and you're going to reach out to some people like Jeremy was talking about this week coming up. Like, he's already setting his compass. Like, okay, this is going to be a fantastic week. I'm going to do this, and this. So Jeremy's excited. He gets on the phone first thing Monday morning. He starts to call somebody, and he's calling someone that maybe he looks up to. Maybe he respects their success and whatever they do. Maybe they have a big law firm, or they're a fancy doctor or whatever. So he's calling this person, and his heart is racing because he's never done this before. This is relatively new, like, especially in this lane. So his heart is racing, and he calls the person, and the person answers the phone, hello, and he freezes. Okay, I know, Jeremy, you wouldn't do this, but I'm just using this example. He freezes, right? And he's like, man, what do I say? And he has like a brain freeze. Well, here's what I would recommend that you all do. If that happens, if you're in the middle of the conversation and someone says, well, Jeremy, tell me more about the 15 the providers, like, how many do you have, and where are they from? And he doesn't know the answer to that. Well, he can just simply say, that's a great question. Let me circle back, because I'm just getting started. I'm really excited about it, but I promise I'll give you an answer within the hour. That's one way. But if he has a brain freeze, here's what I do. I just take my phone and I hit the end button. Okay. And I said this before. I hit the end button. Why? Because I got to disconnect the call, and I got to recalibrate my mind. I don't want to be stumbling and fumbling on the phone. And it's okay, because you can call the person back. People are accustomed. Remember this. They're accustomed to calls that drop. They're accustomed to calls that get disconnected. So when I call that person back, when I've collected my thoughts, now this is where this is so powerful. You can literally pick up the phone and call one of the person that brought you in to this experience. You can call myself. That there are people that you reach out to. You make that phone call. You say, hey, listen, I just kind of froze up. I'm about to call the person back. Can you just give me a quick tweak on how to best, speak this or communicate it? And then we have that quick conversation. Then you call the person back. Hey, I'm sorry, my call got disconnected. Okay. And that's the truth, because you disconnected the call, right? My call got disconnected. And then you just get back on course. This business is very forgiving. It is a very forgiving business. And the way that the business is structured, because of the track record that's been created with Jason and the inception of the idea to the execution of the idea, and then watching that grow and develop, and then Corey, and then the two of them strategically partner. to continue to elevate the quality of the experience and the efficacy, and then putting it out into the world. And so for 5 years, they've been doing that, and to a great amount of success, to a massive amount of success. Now, you know, Jason and Corey, they could have gone on Shark Tank, and maybe they could have gotten a deal and gone a different route, but they chose to keep it at a grassroots level, which I'm really grateful for, because it gives people like you and I an opportunity to partner with a company that's already successful. So here's what I want you to understand, and I want you all to be to answer this question honestly. And Ray, I'm going to get to you in a second. I see your hand is raised. How when is the last time someone came to you and invited you to be a part of a business that's proven, that has a successful track record, that's got 300,000 plus happy customers, and they say, "Hey, Jeremy, how would you like to come in on this business with me and help me grow it even bigger?" When's the last time any of you have gotten that particular invitation? Like, if you've gotten that invitation in the last 12 months, okay. Now, I don't know, okay? I'm not all knowing. I don't know. But I know this, it's very rare. It's very rare, because people will come with I've been approached with all kinds of stuff. I got stories. I got receipts. and and I had to it's mind blowing what people think is good, but it's not proven. It's not tested. What I respect about how Corey and Jason brought it into this new era of ConnectMD was that they had a solid proof of concept, and they had stories, and they had tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of users, so that you could get the feedback on how to make it better, to tighten it up here and to make it sharper there. And so that by the time it comes to us, ladies and gentlemen, it's like, here, we're going to give you this formula. And the formula is where, now stay with me, it's where you can go to buy gasoline for 50 cents a gallon. We're giving you the formula. And if you follow the training, and if you follow the system, you're going to be able to share this with as many people as you like. They're going to pay a monthly fee to get 50 cents gas a gallon for the rest of their lives. That's the metaphor for what we have, because it's tried, it's tested, and it's true. You never ever have to hang your head about the product that we sell and that we promote. You never ever have to look somebody in the eye and then second guess yourself, is this really good? Because you all have it. All of you have it. So you can experience it for yourself. You can test it out for yourselves. So you're not being fraudulent. You're not being fake. A lot of people, they sell things and they don't even know what they're selling. They're just good at selling. Okay, that's one way to go about it. You don't have to do that here. You can feel really good. Like, if my grandparents were alive, if I even knew who they were, I would feel good about getting them on this service. My mother and father, I feel good about having them be a part of this. Anyone that's in my family, my immediate family, I feel really good and proud for them to be a part of this. And when you have that alignment, unless you're a sociopath, when you have that alignment, it really empowers you to have real conversations with people all across these United States. Now, I don't know if she was able to get on or not, but I reached out to a really good powerhouse young lady. She's just a good human being, very solid family, and we haven't talked in years. And so I was going through my phone, because I have sections of my phone where I save peak experiences. So if we have anything significant, I have a place in my phone where I can go back, or if you wrote me something that was really meaningful to me, I save it. So I was reading some of these messages and getting in touch with some of the people, and we connected. And again, we hadn't talked in years. Here's what happened. Uh, she and I were talking, and then I think her husband was in earshot. I'm not sure exactly where he was. But as soon as she and I had gotten off the phone, I showed her the 3 minute video, so brilliantly created and designed by Mr. Corey. And then once she said, "This is great," I said, "Okay, well, let me turn you on to the full overview. It's only 20 minutes, but take a look at it, and then we'll chop it up after that." And so her first question was, "Well, how do we get paid?" And so we talked about that. But she just got it. She got it right away. She saw it. She was dialed in, and I just, her energy was so high that it got my energy high. Her husband immediately um just said to her, "Sign up. Like, just sign up. Just do it. Like, just do it." Because he was doing the calculations with his own health care, because his insurance is, high. The deductibles are high. I don't have to even really touch that part, because the way the information is set up in the presentation, and you all should have downloaded the slides. The way it's set up, it does so much of it. If you just take people through it, just use it as a guidepost, but it's all there. Like, it's there. Like, these are numbers. The data doesn't lie, and you can talk to anybody. Ask anybody that's gone to the emergency room in the last 12 months, like, about their experience. You're going to hear something that's more often than not, which is, "I was there for a really long time. It wasn't really an emergency, and I spent more money than I needed to." That happens more often than not. That's why we have that solution. If you listen to Jason, when he does that beginning introduction, he talks about how we solve those three problems. He talks about the people that go for a minor situation and they think it's major. So now that's a trip, that's time, 6, 8, 10 hours waiting, and then you're out of pocket. The second group are people that don't even bother to go, because they're anticipating the cost. So they would rather avoid it than go at all. And then the third category are people that don't even bother with the prescription because it's too expensive. So the fact that we solved those three problems, and many more, is such a good starting place. But what I want you all to understand is that the most important starting place is you. It's you. When you understand that you have a story and there are experiences in your life that we can all learn from, there is a way that you go about your life as a person that is of integrity, that you keep your word, that you show up on time, that you are reliable, you have a high credibility score with your network. Well, then that's so much more valuable than even what we offer. And as I said, it's a great offering. But when you take your personal character and how you show up in life, and I know that Jeremy is a fighter. Like, I know he's got like that toughness in him. I know he's gonna figure it out. Like, everything is figure outable. It might take me a second, but I'm figure it out. He's got that drive. Now, I'm making these assumptions because Jeremy's a former Marine. So I have an image of Marines. Why? Because of what? The messaging and the training that Marines go through. Everybody knows, and it makes a difference. Listen, I'm gonna ask him this question. He doesn't know I was gonna ask him this. Is it fair to say, Jeremy, that there is a different response when people find out? They say, "What branch of the military did you serve?" As soon as he says Marine, people are like, "Oh, tell me I'm lying."
No, you're telling the truth, man. It's like you said, because of the message that gets out, everyone sees the commercials and you see the Marines walking around, the recruiters and stuff. We're just held to a higher standard, like even the other service branches, they're just not like us. So yeah, there's definitely the idea. You hear someone's a Marine, and there's an automatic response to like, oh, you're set apart, you're different.
Yes. See, he said those two words, a higher standard. And what we all have to embrace is a higher standard for ourselves, how we show up each and every day, and then hold each other accountable to that standard. And when we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, everyone here and everyone that's not here, that's watching the recording of this, you will smash your goals. You'll smash them because you are going to feed off of that expectation, but you also don't want to let the group down. The last thing that Jason wants to do is let anybody here down. The last thing that Corey wants to do is let anybody here down. The last thing that I would ever want to do is let anybody here down. And so when that becomes a part of our messaging and our mantra, and we each show up for our prospects with that attitude and that energy, they start to understand, like, wait a minute, this is bigger. It's bigger than the KMD. This is like a movement. It's a culture. It's an environment that I'm standing up a little bit stronger, and I'm starting to dream a little bit bigger, and I'm starting to aim a little bit higher. I'm starting to do things even though it makes me uncomfortable. Let me give a shout out to Joyce. Joyce said to me, this was a few nights ago, she said, I am so freaking uncomfortable right now because she was doing something that she wasn't accustomed to doing. Now, why was she doing it? Because she's committed to excellence. She's already committed that she's going to be successful, she's going to win. But if she hadn't made the commitment, then she would have given herself an out, and she could have just, avoided me, not called me back, made an excuse. She could have done a million things. And she didn't do any of that. She came forth with courage and her conviction that I know this is good what I'm doing. I know this is going to make a difference in other people's lives. And I want to be good. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it at the highest level. And I told her that is the best place for you to be in, to be doing something and have the courage and transparency to acknowledge I'm uncomfortable right now. This is really messing with me, Ed, but I'm gonna do it anyway because she's a fighter. She's got that inner strength, and see that fires me up. I know some of you all are listening and you're looking at her and you're like, you're fired up too because you can feel the energy. And that's the power of what is happening now. Now, this one last thing. Um, So there's this thing in business that's called timing. And if you talk to some people, they'll tell you timing is the most important thing in business. They'll say, well, would you have liked to have invested in Starbucks when it was first, when, Schwartz was first starting out? Of course I would have. Would you have liked, if you could go back and you knew about Microsoft or Apple, would you have invested in blah, blah, blah? Yeah, of course I would. Well, why didn't they do it? Well, because most people don't have vision. Most people don't have vision. They say, I'll believe it when I see it. But the visionaries, they see it because they believe it. They see it because they believe it. There are two types of sight. There's eyesight and then there's mind sight. Eyesight is judging according to appearances and what you see. Mind sight is seeing something that's not physically there, but you've imaged it so many times in your mind's eye that you eventually manifest it. How many of you all have ever had the experience in your own life, whatever it was? Okay, maybe it was a promotion, maybe it was getting, making the junior high basketball team, whatever it was, but you envisioned it so much that you lived it before you actually did it, but then you actually did it. How many of y'all ever had that experience? Okay, great. So you all know what I'm talking about. It's not it's not a muscle that is unfamiliar to you. What's important is that you exercise that muscle every single day here. Yeah. So when you look at the KMD vehicle, it's a vehicle for you to get more of what it is that you want. So if it's a level of peace of mind because you have enough cash flow coming in every month, then you use the vehicle for that. If you have a mind sight of impacting 100,000 households directly and indirectly because of you, it's going to be that. But you got to go there here in your mind sight before you go there physically. So you want to live in that space. Live in that space. Keep cultivating that vision. What do most people do? It's been said between 5 and 8 hours a day. Between 5 and 8 hours a day, people are sitting in front of the electronic income reducer and they're watching the idiot box, the television. They're watching the television. And the reason they call it television is because it's telling you your vision. I'm saying to you, create your own vision. Yeah. Don't allow programmers on the outside to program what's inside of you. You start from the inside and then you live it out. Don't fall victim to the hypnosis of the idiot box, the electronic income reducer, because it's going to feed you images and stories that have absolutely nothing to do with your success in ConnectMD. Nothing. So you got to hold yourself, as we've been talking about, Jeremy, to that standard, a higher standard of accountability and excellence. I guarantee you that if you were to ask Jeremy, and when he was in the most growthful times of his journey from the very first day before he became a Marine, if you ask him during the most growthful times, hey, Jeremy, were you sitting around watching TV 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day? No. Heck no. He was in the midst of forging himself into a leader, into a finely tuned machine. He was living it every day. He had no choice but to be successful in that path. I'm not saying it was easy. No, I didn't say that. I just said he made the commitment and he followed through. That's how simple it is. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. And this is the beginning. This is the inception. Think about it. This is February 18th, ladies and gentlemen. And for all intent and purposes, this company, this wing, this aspect of the company was given birth to technically like 2 months ago. All right. Like 2 months ago, it was given birth to. But really, it started to form and take shape over the last few weeks. So you're literally, when I talked about timing, you're literally a part of the beginning, the foundation. We will look each other in the eye 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and we're going to be telling each other stories. Do you remember when we were on that Zoom? It was like, 12, 14 people. Can you believe it's like 500,000 people that are here? Like, what in the, like, we're going to remember this. Why? Because we have vision. We have vision. People looked at Steve Jobs like he had lost his mind because he had a reality distortion field. He was not willing to accept the initial reaction to something that was bigger than what he knew or thought to be possible, because he understood. He said, hey, I want you to make something that's mobile but can move on the screen for the Macintosh. And the initial team of designers said, we can't do that. He said, what do you mean? They said, we can't do that because that technology doesn't exist. He said, you're fired. I'm going to find someone who can. I'm going to find someone who's willing not to tell me what they can't do, but to tell me what they can do. Not to accept what's impossible, but to go to find a way to figure it out. And now, guess what? We all have these things, okay? Because he had vision. That's why we reference him all the time. That's why we reference Bill Gates all the time. That's why people talk about Elon Musk all the time, Jeff Bezos all the time. They had a big vision. But if you look at where they started, nothing to write home about. Nothing glorious about that. The thing that gets me excited, and I don't care if there's one person on here, 11, 1,100, 3,000. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. I've felt this way in my heart long before I ever got involved in business. I'm not just talking this to you because I've done it in business. Because it's yes, is it easier to convey it when you've actually started from zero and you've built to tens and tens and tens of thousands of people around? Yeah, of course it is. But I'm telling you all, I had this way before I got involved in business because I understood the power of creativity and the preview of what's to come, because that is something that we all have access to. No one cares how much education you have or don't have. No one cares if you're green, blue, yellow, black, brown, white. No one cares if you're 18 or 80, bald, crippled, or crazy. No one cares. They only care that you show up with a good attitude, you're willing to work, and you're willing to spend time cultivating your vision and living and following that vision. So when you think about the two types of sight, eyesight, mind sight, your eyes, when they see, they will acquire what they see. That's why vision is so important. So I want you to think about the word eyes, okay? If we take the word eyes and we write it down on a piece of paper, this is what you see. Now I want you all to cross out the E. If I cross out the E, everything that my eyes see is affirmed. It is affirmed. That's why you got to have the picture. Now, check this out. When you walk, do you walk forward or do you walk backward? You walk forward because you got to see where you're going. And when you can see where you're going, ladies and gentlemen, the inevitability of reaching your destination is assured because you've set your GPS to the outcome that you're committed to because you got vision. That's the power of the eyes. The power of the mind sight is that you can cultivate the vision as big and as creative and as dynamic as you see fit. There are no limitations except the ones that we impose on ourselves. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. That's an African proverb. So if you think about the word enemy, 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 enemy. So enemy, enemy. You will not find a more talented, more craftful, more skillful enemy than the inner me, because nobody can trip you up the way that you can trip you up. Nobody can talk you out of taking action the way that you can talk you out of taking action. Nobody can make excuses and create well-crafted narratives to support your laziness, to support your thinking small, to support and endorse your low self-image and your low self-worth and your low self-esteem. Nobody can do it like you. But when you understand that when I conquer that inner me, and I take the time to really start crafting the vision that I aspire to, what's the vision that I want? And I do it with boldness and confidence because I got the infrastructure, I've got the support, I've got the alignment, I've got the timing. Timing in business, ladies and gentlemen, is about recognition. You can't create it. You cannot create timing in business. It's either there or it's not. For whatever reason, all of you that are here right now, all of you that are watching the recording of this, for whatever reason, something or someone saw fit to handpick and select you to be here at this appointed time, at the inception, at the beginning. That means you're a pioneer. That means you get to lay the foundation. That means you get to go first. Now, pioneers take a lot of arrows, but they also take most of the land. You can really set yourself up. And it's not, again, it's not like we have been positioned to try to prove something that people are going to think are crazy. That's not it at all. We're not talking about rocket ships to the moon that we're going to build ourselves. We're not talking about some formulation that's going to make you age in reverse 20 years and we have no data or proof of concept, but we're excited about it. We're not talking about some magic cream that you rub on your hands and all of a sudden your hands look 5 years young. We ain't talking about none of that. We're talking about a service that has been provided for 5 years in a proven, tested space in businesses and all their employees that people have gotten tremendous value from already. So there's the proof of concept is done. Now we get to bring it to the marketplace out here. And more importantly, we have the opportunity to talk to the people that we do business with. When I go to the dry cleaners, what's the conversation? When I go to the mac and cheese place, I said, hey, I walked in there. I said, how long you been here? He said, a year and 2 months. I said, oh, I said, are you here every day? He said, well, if I'm not here physically, I'm here mentally. You know how it is running the business. I said, yes, sir. I know exactly what you mean. I said, how many employees you got? He said, I got 8 employees. I said, oh, okay. Do they have health insurance? He's like, no, I can't afford that. I already knew the answer to the question before I asked him. I said, well, let me ask you this. If I could show you something that is extremely affordable, that is an absolutely powerful alternative to the healthcare space, right? It's a much healthier, powerful alternative, and it's affordable, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Would you be okay with taking a look? Now, what do you think he said? Of course. It doesn't cost me anything, and I can offer my employees a healthy alternative in the healthcare space. Now, mind you, remember I said healthcare. I don't because we're not health insurance. I don't even say that word. I say it's an alternative in the healthcare space that is affordable and very, very impactful. Well, yeah, let me take a look. Anybody got 3 minutes? Everybody got 3 minutes. And when they watch the 3 minutes, they're gonna want to learn more, show me more. Great. Let's go from there. All I need to do is just show this to your employees. If they want to come on, they can come on board. I'll take care of it. And if you want some too, I got you. No problem. We all have the ability to have that conversation with our dry cleaners, our physicians, our dentists, our accountants, our attorneys, anyone in our circle that we're already doing business with in any way, shape, or form. Boom. Landscaping, boom. Like the bakery, boom. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And they've already been primed. So the reason I really want you all to be a little bit selfish for yourselves tonight, tomorrow morning, really take some time to cultivate your vision. Really take some time to understand what it is that you want. And when you understand that and you know that, there's nothing that's going to get in your way. We have the support, we have the infrastructure, we got the teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Please make sure that you're not only engaging on the KMD, a new era on the Facebook group, but if anybody new is in there and you haven't already given them some love and some welcomes, make sure you do that. That's important. That strengthens our community. It makes you feel good to shout somebody out, to congratulate somebody. I know Leslie was recognized for hitting that personal sales bonus, and I believe I'm not sure. I think she did it twice, but I'm not sure. But I got to go back and check. But go check it out. Like I'm going to go back to that post just to double check it. But if you haven't given Leslie some love for hitting the personal sales bonus, boom, give her some love. So look, I'm excited about this week. It's a very important week for us and what we do. Let's check out the dates. It's going to be the 19th through the 25th. Okay, so we got Monday to Sunday, 19th through the 25th. I want you to set some targets for yourself. How many times do you want to hit the personal sales bonus? Okay, PSB1, PSB2, PSB3, PSB4, PSB5. Do you want to make an extra $100, $200, $500 this week? It's up to you. But set your target, ladies and gentlemen. Set your target and then make sure your actions are in alignment with the target that you want to hit. It's, you decide what the target's going to be, but understand that what you do, the people that you're introducing this to, they're going to do what you do. And if you set the example, they will follow that example. And that's where the magic really starts to happen. So, where's Ray? Ray, do you still have a question, love? I know you had your hand raised. I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. And you're muted if you're talking. I can't hear you. I did see your hand raised. I want to acknowledge you. And if Ray doesn't have a question, does anybody else have a question before we hop off? Or a comment? Or a word? What's up, Scott? Thanks for hopping on, brother. I see I got a chance to spend some time with you via Zoom. I knew you was going to be here. I was like, I'm happy he's going to join us. I'm really happy he's going to do that. Dexter again.
Nice to meet a fellow Buckeye.
Hey, now that's what I'm talking about.
Always, baby.
Say, that's right. That's right. Dexter again, FaceTime. Good to meet you. Nair, I see Nair. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Ed. How are you?
I'm good.
As you could maybe hear, I kind of caught that crud that Jeremy was talking about, but
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to say I'm kind of new to the Connect MD family. Just signed up a couple days ago, so just kind of getting myself immersed with the information,
Yes.
going through the videos that you put together. So very informational. Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I noticed the sorry, the pet care, is that independent or is that part of the service that's provided?
So that's an additional $20. If somebody wants pet care, they can do it as an add-on.
So it's specifically an add-on, right? It's not a standalone product.
It is standalone. Yeah, it's standalone. So if somebody comes in and they just want to do the pet care, they can. If somebody comes in and they come in with the platinum and they're like, well, I want to get something for my animals, they would add the pet care as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and again,
Absolutely.
it's nice to meet everyone. I think I had an appointment yesterday. Had I gotten sick today, I definitely would have used the service.
All right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. So, ladies and gents, yes, please do use the service. If any of you want to ever do like a strategy for the week, like a game plan for the week, and really set your targets, I'm happy to do that with you. You can just shoot me a text message, and we'll get you booked up on the calendar so you can start off with a clear path, knowing what your target is for the week, and then we'll start doing some closeouts as well. Closeout just means that as we approach the end of the week, we're really going to really ramp up the activity to make sure that we all smash our goals for the week. So whatever your goal is, we're going to work as a unit to make sure that we can help each other smash whatever that goal is. Because again, it's about creating as many winner circles as we possibly can. So continue to promote the KMD A New Era Facebook group. When you enroll somebody, make sure you invite them on to that and add them to that and ask them, do you have a picture that you prefer that I use? And then show them some love and welcome them to the team. We'll all throw love on them. And again, that helps to build culture as well. Thanks so much for hopping on. Have an awesome and amazing week. We'll see you tomorrow night. Presentation 8 p.m. So you want to invite as many guests as you possibly can on tomorrow night's presentation, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll send out the communication for that later on tonight as a reminder. You'll also get a text message sometime in the morning as well, so you can send that, promote that to your guests, and just let them know we're going to be on. Just sharing some information. Again, watch the invite video if you're not fluid in what to say, and let's keep it moving. Have an awesome and amazing night. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Have a great night, guys.
Take care now.
Thank you. You too.